Tests, nonsense, and analysis. Yeah, hi, dear viewer. Another exciting episode. I'll be covering round six of the African individuals. The game just ended a few minutes ago. The round. Well, I think there's some game still going on, but yeah, very exciting. Let's start first with the women's section. So in the women's section, Wafa Shrouk of Egypt lost, which is very interesting. So there is a player from Algeria, I think, who's got 5 points, and she and a couple of, and then Wafa Shrouk and other players have got 4.5. So most probably, Wafa Shrouk will play against this other player because the player was playing on board two. Um, Jessie won a game, so she's on 4 points, I think. Yeah, she's on four. She dropped two. So yeah, slowly clawing her way back. Unfortunately, Anza lost the game today. Um, yeah, so all to play for. The tournament is open. 3 games to go. Anything can happen, and Jessie is in the mix, which is good. Then let's move over to the open section. Well, first and foremost, unfortunately, Michael Simpson lost his game today. Yeah, he looked like the line he played his opening wasn't really he didn't manage to equalize nicely, and he had a difficult position, and his opponent actually played very well and managed to put him away. Uh, but today I wanted to focus on the board one game because it was played between two grandmasters. Belachene from Algeria was playing with the white pieces and playing against Amin Bassem. And Amin Bassem gave a, a positional masterclass performance here, and he takes the lead. So he has 5.5 out of 6. And yeah, I mean he's won now with black. He's gonna have white in the next round. So it looks like he will be able to take the tournament. So he's the clear. I mean, he's always been the favorite, but now he's like in a very good position, right? Let's have a look at the game though. Yeah, I was expecting a lot of fireworks, and I think uh, Bassem uh, preparation. He played a very brilliant, basically, yeah. Let's get into the game rather. So it's a French, and Knight C3 is played. So this is an invitation to the Vinava variation with Bishop B4, or the slightly passive but playable Steinitz variation with Knight F6. The Rubinstein variation with D takes E4 has been it's been seen less and less these days, and it's not surprising because the engines they like space, and you shared a lot of space, and it doesn't mean that it's lost, but it means that it will be very difficult to prepare from home because you'll be fighting against the computer. Yeah. But so anyway, Bishop B4 is what Bassem plays. E5, he plays C5, A3. And here I think this is a very, very clever choice. Very shrewd choice. The main line is Bishop takes C3 check. This is the main line. To take on C3, pawn takes C3, 97, and white is a number of moves, A4, knight F3. Queen G4 is probably the most testing theoretically, and yeah, the game goes into some sharp theoretical battle. But I think Belachne seems to be quite well prepared in the main lines, and Sam himself is very well prepared there, but I think the decision that he makes is very impressive. He plays Bishop A5. So Bishop A5 is not necessarily the very main move. It's a little bit of a side uh, variation. So before, this is still theory. Pawn takes pawn. Knight b5, bishop c7. And right here, this is where, because definitely white is not had not been expecting this variation. The main line is f4 here, and the game is complex, and but white is slightly better. So, but we can imagine, of course, that Bassem would have spent some time preparing this f4, possibly from home already, as a weapon, and he will have. Some idea how to continue. But the thing is that now the pressure is now on Belashne. Because remember, that is why this is such a shrewd choice, because it's not a line that is played all the time. So it means that Belashne most definitely did not check the preparation. He hasn't looked at it possibly for a long time. And he will try to remember on the main line, and even if he does remember, how it goes, but he will obviously be scared because he has not looked at it himself for quite a while. The thing is that in today's world, if you don't look at a line for, let's say, 2 years, it's already a lot, because you may have looked at it with older engines, but the engines that always come out, they always are a little bit stronger than those before. So it's a very shrewd psychological choice by Bassem, and we can see the conflict in Belashne, because he plays knight f3, which I don't think is the most critical move. Okay, knight c6, bishop f4, knight e7. Because why am I saying knight f3 is not the most critical move? Because it's always going to be about, can white hold the center, with e5 comfortably. So obviously, since this is the argument, f4 must be the first preference, of course, but he knows it, and but he's just trying to avoid some theory. Knight e7, bishop d3, knight g6, and already white's pieces are a little bit awkward. We should say, bishop g3 you don't want to play for sure, because if you put the bishop on g3, the problem is that the bishop is never coming back to the game. It's misplayed. Possibly bishop g5. I don't know. F6 suggests itself maybe in this position. And yeah, it's dangerous, yeah. Because I mean, if for example you lose this pawn and I get to play some e5s, this could be quite dangerous for white. White loses a lot of the center. So white plays bishop takes g6, h takes g6. Yeah, I mean, when I saw this, I wasn't too impressed with white's prospects. Okay, white is not worse, but we cannot possibly imagine black being worried here. Because, truth be told, if you look at the bishop that was exchanged, it was a forced exchange, in a sense that he's not comfortable in the position. But this was the better bishop, because the pawn on e5 blocks the black squared bishop. So this bishop is not really doing so well, because the pawn is in the way, right? So, and you also look at white's position. The white squares are very weak. So I'm not saying white is worse, but I'm definitely saying that black is comfortable here. So bishop d7, plays a6, knight takes c7, plays a4, rook c8. Yeah, down the c file, rook c1. It makes sense. There are many weak squares for white here. So queen b6, rook b1, knight e7, plays a5, queen c7. Okay, of course, there are many moves that can be played, but let's go to the critical position. So knight f5 is a very nice move. And here in this position, we have bishops of opposite color. This is very important, but I think that this is well evaluated by Bassem, because you see, bishops of opposite color, the thing is that in a middle game and also end game with two rooks on the board, like four rooks, no? It's all about the initiative. It's always about the side that can attack first. So the question that you may ask yourself, dear viewer, is why? Well, very simple. Let me make it in 1 second. Let us imagine white pieces that can attack the white squares. Okay, like any point on the white squares. Let's say a pawn on c2 or a pawn on c or the square c4, and we ask how many white pieces can attack this square. Not immediately, but I mean, no, potentially. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 pieces can attack the white squares. How many black pieces can defend c4 or c2? It's not 4, it's 3. 1, 2, 3, you see. So that is why. That's the whole point about bishops of opposite color. The thought or the theory stating that the side that first attacks has the advantage, because it's as if the other side is having a piece down. But this does not only apply to white, it also applies to black. If black doesn't play actively enough and white attacks on the black squares, then we have the same fate for black, no? Because black's light squared bishop will be just a spectator. So anyway, black has got the initiative, and queen c4 is a very nice move, yeah. So Belashny tries not to let the rooks in, but rook h4, another nice move. So this is now really a positional masterclass. So it takes on c5, and bishop is then moved over to c5. So first things first, he breaks the center, and he wants to then roll, yeah, in the center. So white takes, plays pawn to c3, king f7. So the first thing is to try and set the center in motion. Yeah, plays g5, h3, e5, king f2, king e6, rook a2, bishop to b5. So bishop b5 serves the purpose of activating the rook and also attacking, e2. So the rook can never go to e2. But of course, we would want to move our rook at some point and then, get the bishop in. Rook c2, plays f5. I was calculating, I'm busy calculating because, here, one always has to be careful of the move d4, right? Because d4, attacking the pawn. And if you play rook c2, maybe I play bishop b4. And I was just thinking, can I sacrifice the exchange? But maybe not important. Yeah, so the line I was thinking about for a second there, I just distracted myself. Thinking about this line is, for example, if black can play d4, rook here, bishop here, let's say rook a2, can I sacrifice the exchange? It's just something that crossed my mind for whatever reason. And maybe I can take here. Hmm, yeah, black can certainly play this position as well. Because maybe I move the bishop and take, but okay, it's not necessary. But this just shows the potential that I think black's position has in this position, right? Or rather, black has in the position. Rook c2 plays a5, rook e1, and now the pawns are set in motion, and white takes. Yeah, it's difficult to say what, but maybe white should not take, but already very hard to see. But this is just the position is hard psychologically, but I mean, at the end of the day, it should be a draw if white defends properly, but okay, h4, pawn takes pawn, rook h1, rook d8, bishop e3. I want to go to an interesting position. I was looking at here during the game. Yes, king d5. So now there's always an issue of entry squares. So for example, here, if I put the bishop, black will put the bishop on d3, and the king can come into c4. So imagine some bishop d3, king c4, king b3, maybe even king b2, and pressure on b2 and coming in. So all this is going to play itself out. Rook h1, bishop d3, attacking the pawn on c3. Yeah, so defends the pawn, rook h8, bishop f4, king c4, bishop e5. Yeah, this is what I was thinking about this position right here. Rook e8. Because I was thinking that maybe what if I try to um because certainly if I play bishop f4, right? Well, I'm looking at that pawn. Can, for example, if they play rook c8 and I play king e3, can I maybe try to create some kind of some fortress? Because you cannot take here for now. And but it's look, white should try this, but nonetheless we can see it's a very uncomfortable position because black can play, for example. Okay, well, black also has to think because if you play here, maybe I can play g3. So yeah, this could have been the way, and a very difficult position. I'm sure this position will needs to be really well analyzed. But I like the way that Bassem just puts the pressure on here. So he plays rook e6, bishop c5. He feels that now he's taken the bishop from an important diagonal because the key thing for black is to push the pawn f4. If black can push f4 without any consequences, then black has got very good chances because black will play f4 e3 and then g2 is there to be attacked, right? So gets f4 in and then plays rook f5. So already he's looking very good. He's threatening e3. So I think rook h5 was played, e3, king e1. So takes and rook g6. And here uh, he resigns. Yeah, a fantastic game by Bassem. I mean, g2 is falling. Yeah, you'd have to play rook h2, which is a very ugly move. It's very passive, and I can already pick this pawn. And if you, for example, I'm just making an example. If you play bishop here, I can play f3. And you cannot take because of checkmate, of course. Obvious. That's the other thing about bishop's opposite color is that it gives rise to possibilities of checkmate. So yeah, I really like the way that Bassem played this position. It showed his technique. I mean, he's got very strong technique, and in this game, just his preparation, to go to a sideline, knowing that Belashne possibly is not expecting this sideline, and and then to continue in this way. Yeah, really impressive uh, masterclass display by Bassem. So yeah, he's the man to beat, to stop. But I think he's looking very sharp, and to win against such an important opponent with the black pieces. And remember that Grandmaster Adley is not in the picture because now he's a little bit behind. He's not going to play him next round. And what is also going very well for Bassem is that Adam Fauzi managed to lose. He didn't play so well, or maybe I think his opponent also played very well today, but not maybe he's still affected by the loss, by yesterday's loss. So Adam Fauzi has lost 2 games in a row, so he's also not going to be in a position to stop Bassem anytime soon. Yeah. So yeah, so we are expecting Bassem to maybe if he wins, I mean, 2 rounds, and then he's already um, on his way. So yeah, so important for Michael Simpson to try and regroup. And it's a never-ending battle. Tomorrow he's still up there. He's still going to play against a very tough player. And yeah, good luck to him. And he must recover from the losses. Easier said than done, but try to recover and then come back. Yeah, it's getting very exciting. And the chess, though, I was very happy by the level of the chess. Very high level game we saw today. So brilliant, yeah. Looking forward to tomorrow's games. And yeah, I'm just gonna go check the pairings now. They should be out and see what's happening. So keep an eye out. And as I say, we'll be following closely. So yeah, till tomorrow. For now, I'll say bye. And with that, I will then say, dear viewer, checkmate.